Hello there, this is Cheryl. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do something a little bit different today. A few videos back, I did a review of books about sketchbooks, and it got me rethinking about my own sketchbook practice and that I had fallen away from it for a while, and I wanted to kind of get back into it. So I set up a little goal for myself to try to have kind of a daily practice. And some of you don't know me, I've been an artist for over 30 years. So I've acquired a whole lot of art supplies. And I thought, well, let's try to use up as much of my art supplies as possible. And there's some sketchbooks that I wanted to explore that I had never gotten before, so I thought I would do that and try to fill up some sketchbooks with some different experiments with tools and materials and other things that I never use very much, like colored pencils. I have a lot of these like neo pastels and Caran d'Ache, and I decided let's just try to use up all these things and really push myself to explore the material. So today's going to be a look at that. So some of the materials are, like I said, I had a bin full of these, the Neocolor 2. The Neocolor 2s are water soluble, and then oil-based pastel markers, some just random things in that little container. And then I also have these lovely Marabou art crayons. These are so yummy. They push up like this, and they are kind of greasy. They feel greasy or oily or something, but they're water soluble. So these are a lot of fun to use. So I have some of those. Good old Posca pens. I like these so I can make big marks. The chisel tip, the wide ones, then the fine points, and those. Okay, so I think the first book that I got, new sketchbook that I got, was the I had never ever, I know I'm way behind here, everyone loves these, and I thought, oh, I want to try this art creation sketchbook. And they're so much fun. They come in a whole bunch of colors and a whole bunch of sizes. So I got a couple. I got this size, like it's 5 by 5. It's a little small. 5 by 8. And then I got one that's bigger, which I haven't opened yet. This size. So this is like 80 sheets. It's 94-pound paper. It's acid free. This is 8.3 by 11. I haven't even opened this one yet, and I'm so excited. So on the back, it says it's good for sketch, pencil, charcoal, graphite, crayon, ink, and watercolor. So that's pretty much like what I've got going on here. So let's go through, I think I'm going to go through this first one. And I think I started this like the beginning of November, so bear with me while so the first page I was just playing with some illustration ideas, just to give it a little cover idea. And then I pulled out all these different materials. I have some Ecoline, the Neocolor 2, the Luminance pencil, Posca, and then putting down, just testing things out to see, making marks, more making marks. I also had some ink, so I just kind of dipped a brush in some ink, I think this is probably acrylic ink, a brown acrylic ink. The other thing that I like doing, and this is where this distress ink comes into play, and these Jim Holtz distress inks, they're so much fun. So I've got an antique linen, a black soot, and a vintage tea dye paper. So I don't like a blank page. I don't know about you, but sometimes if there's something already on the page, it helps you kind of break it in. So I've been stamping some of this distress ink on the page, and it gives it kind of this vintagey vibe and gives it some texture. There's no smell to this. It's just, I don't know, it's just some acid-free ink. I don't know what it's made out of, but I really like it. They're fade resistant. They're dye inks. So you can use it to, you know, on photographs and different things. So I have had these forever, but now they're kind of a regular part of my exploration. So this one is just my love of pattern. I'm, you know, just inventing lines, mark making lines, and so forth. So these are the markers. I think I have a set of just plain. Oh, this is the Echo Line. I have some Echo Line brush pens that I also have. I don't have them out here. And then the other thing I sometimes like to do, this is Blick Artist Tape, is to just tape off a border, because I don't know, it feels good and it looks like it's fun way to divide the pages up. This is again that distress ink, but I had one of my a watercolor that I had already made. I don't have it here, but I did a response to some of my original artwork and just stuck it in there. Just another exercise, having a little bit of fun. So this paper, you know, so far what I'm liking about this book is I like this size because I have enough room to kind of get in there. But I also love the creamy paper. Like, I know some people don't like creamy paper, but it just gives I think colors tend to pop on it a little bit more. And I like the fact that the edges of this are just kind of rounded, and the weight of the paper is, it's thin, but it's hefty. It's got enough sizing in it that things aren't bleeding through, and the pages don't buckle as much. So then I got out these, I said I wasn't going to buy any art supplies, but I had some of these colors, the Luminance pencils. I went back to the art supply store. I did do a little damage, but I just found them to be kind of yummy, and I hadn't explored the color pencil. So I thought I would kind of do mark making. How many different marks could I make? What could I invent on this page? So then that led me to this next page, which was drawing something like quilt-like with images in it, but then on the facing page, responding to that with some gouache and the pens and these neo pastels or pastel twos, these guys on top of the gouache. So just trying to kind of cue up color, responding to things, and, you know, just thinking about sort of this quilt-like response to things. So that was one. And then the second one I did was, that was early November here. Well, it wasn't that far ago. That was just a week ago. So I've been busy. The same thing here, like a quilt-like drawing, and then a response with another media. You know, I brought out, this is the gouache and a little bit of the colored pencil. I mean, these guys, or Neocolor 2. So that page, I like these two pages as an idea. Maybe I'll do it again, but I'm not, you know, I'm not married to making a whole book full of them. I'm just trying to experiment as much as I can in this book. And this is another page of marks. and I'm trying to see what goes on top of what and how well the two different medias work together. And then the color, I did a little exploration of the colored pencils and trying to put together like what colors would I put together. Just a little color play. That was fun. And then I just made up faces. I put the timer on and gridded the paper off and said, how many faces can I invent in about, I think this was like 10 minutes, faces. And then that was fun. Then I did this page, which was these water-based shapes first and then patterns over them. I'm really interested in pattern. I think you can start to see that in this book, that I'm really fascinated by patterns and texture. And whatever I can put a pattern on, I do. And here's another one on quilts. The quilt-like things are really interesting to me. So, yeah, very abstract. Again, gouache and neo-pastel. And, Neocolor 2, I'm sorry. Neocolor 2. Then this was, I used just like a piece of paper, a thin piece of paper, and put oil pastel on it and did a quick monotype, reverse monotype. So drew on the back of the oil, and then those lines went in. There's a blue one and this one of butterflies, and then I painted in them just for fun. So whatever I have, I'm trying to use in some experimental way. I don't usually use a lot of neo-pastel, but I figured I could definitely use them to make some sort of like printed paper. And if you're in your comments and you're interested in seeing me do that, I'll show you. Just let me know in the comments. And then these were just random drawings from the internet or TV, just sort of semi-blind. Again, another random page, not anything big. But I think what I was discovering is that I really like to try to work on things that are contrast and value, and I love the textures that you can get with all of these different materials. And I'm starting to push that a little bit. Then I discovered, oh my gosh, I love this. When you dip a Neocolor 2 in water and then draw with the wet crayon, it is so divine. And what I love about it, it reminds me of that paint that has it's lunar black from what is it? Who is that? It has granulation in it anyway. It's a paint with a lot of granular watercolors that have this granular quality. And this is another one of those quilt-like drawings with, I'm using watercolor, Neocolor 2, and colored pencil. And here's that granulation again. I love that. From this crayon. I just can't even believe it. So then I played with it a little bit more. Isn't that yummy? Look at that. So I was playing with that wet Neocolor 2, and then I added some water, just dropped on blobs of water, and I had some ink. So I dropped on some ink and some just some pen and ink here. That's just a micron pencil or pen or something. But you know, what I'm surprised at in the sketchbook is that the pages just hold up so beautifully, and they're so much fun to look at. So then this was painting with the Neocolor 2, all dipped in water. This little black is this this guy painted. It's so yummy and delicious. Oh, it's creamy. I would say this is creamy, and then you can wet it, and you can just have such a blast. This is also the Neocolor 2 wet, and I think that's acrylic under. I don't know. It's not acrylic. It's this. the Neocolor 2 in this turquoise color. Oh, look at that color. Oh, love that. Okay, next. And then this is another one of those Neocolor 2s dipped in water. And then it was just kind of a call and response kind of thing. Like this was my response to that. Or I think I did this and this was my response to it. What I have noticed is that if I don't put like a paper in between, I do get some sort of, like if I'm working hard on one side, it will kind of push into the other side, smushing here. And this is just another abstract shape. And then this is that acrylic ink that I have. And there's that lovely, oh, I mean, this crayon in water is so pretty. And you can't kind of control it, so you don't really know. Once it dries, there's just some beautiful moments where it granulates and it kind of moves with the water. It's lovely, I think. And then I got out I had a whole bunch of these acrylic gouache, Holbein in a bin, and I thought, well, let me just try to work with those. So I pull those out. And this is that. And then I have these big markers, so I thought I would try to build out a page, but then use the colored pencils and the different markers to add texture and layers and draw into those a little bit more. And then this is that paper I was saying that I draw on with oil pastel, and then I flip it over to draw, to make a print out of it. So then this is where I start with the collage, and then I'm drawing with my non-dominant hand and just kind of filling in and, writing a little bit. So you can start to see where, when I did this drawing, when I pressed down, you could see I off-printed. It became like almost a monoprint on here, a reverse monoprint on that side. That little texture there is the back of that. So these are just colored pencil, luminance. This is, again, trying to use up all my gouache and colored pencil, and I just love the colors and flat graphic things. Then I got out I started working on a 5x7-inch jelly plate. I don't know if I have all those. I don't know where they are. But anyway, I made a whole bunch of little prints, which I'll show you probably in another video. But so then I cut them up. I started cutting them up, and boom, I'm in another world. It's just like night and day. I feel like I started here getting really like let's just go bold. Let's go double page spread. Just, really think about this quilt idea that was kind of back here in the beginning. Where's that? This idea, bigger. And, just, these are also become opportunities for like page starters when I don't know what to do with the blank page. Like I glue these down and then I can go back in with a marker, or I can just close it. And when I want to add more to a page, I can. I don't think this page is done, but I feel like there's some beautiful little, value and texture going on, which I really enjoyed making. And then here's another one. This is another little monotype that I glued in with just a glue stick. And then I took the plate and actually just printed right in the book. There's these little guys that I had that on first. And then I threw my monotype plate, jelly plate, right into the sketchbook. And then I went over it with these markers. Again, I don't know if this page is done. I could keep drawing into this, or I could just call it a day. Don't know yet, but happy to keep trying. Here's another one, another cut up piece of monotype. Some places where I just jelly plate monotype right into the book page. And then I have these really fun. So it's kind of like a breakthrough. And then these distress ink, a little distress ink, and then cutting up the pages. If I can find them, where are they? Oh, let me grab these. I should have gotten these over. This was my experiments today, using this like pile of fun printmaking fodder. Just adding it, cutting pages, things up, and adding it to the sketchbook. I did these this morning. This was one little session of printing for a couple of hours. I got all kinds of interesting visual stuff to play with. So I'm just drawing on different things and then adding it to the sketchbook has kind of been very freeing for me. It's worth trying, I think. So this one, this is the last page. This is where I left it, but I feel like I can go in and figure out ways to kind of make this merge these together. This page with, like I could draw more into that. I could take my marker and start to, draw more. So I like these. I was really excited by these. So lots more pages to come, but that's where I am with this one. And then I had gotten the smaller size of this here, and just done some little color things and nothing big, just mostly testing out colors, drawing from an old drawing, random made-up faces, combinations of luminance pencils and Tombow markers, which I thought was interesting. And then I went on to the internet. I was looking at random maps and just drawing from random maps, called Map Crunch. And then I would set the timer for a few minutes and just draw. That was fun. I haven't drawn like that in years, so it just felt like fun. This was just in pencil. And then some more of these luminance pencils, this quilting idea. And then I got a Pentel brush pen. I was playing with that. I really like the boldness of the black line. More of the luminance pencil. Okay, Ecoline with some water. Just testing out those Ecoline brush pens. And then I got a new palette, which I don't have here in front of me, but I made a new palette, so with just gouache in it. So I have a Turner gouache set. So I was adding it to a toolkit, one of those toolkit palettes. And there's more luminance pencils. I like swatching. It's very relaxing. And this is a Stabilo. I have the Carbothello set, so I thought, okay, let me just play with the colors of those. And off-printed a little bit over here. It's powdery. Sorry. Another drawing. This is the palette that I chose for my toolkit, and then I was adding colored pencil to these colors to see how far I could push different layers on those colors. And the colors are all either Winsor Newton, Turner, or Holbein. Face and stripes. Neocolor 2s. That's this set. It's here. I decided to... Oh, and another thing I found out, which was kind of fun, is that I haven't gotten it yet, but you can sharpen these, which always bothered me. Sometimes that they were like this, you know, they were kind of chunky, but I ordered a pencil sharpener from Blick, or yeah, I think I got it at Blick. So I'll be able to put them in a finer point so I can kind of control the line a little bit. Another thing with the with the paint gouache with the luminance pencils. And then I'm back to my grid idea here, which is colored pencils and colored pencils. Same shape and different color combinations. So trying to think about different color combinations. And then these are just markers. And then I'm doing some mixing here with the burnt umber with all these different colors to see how far I could try to play with color mixing with gouache, which is not my favorite. But I'm starting to like gouache a little bit more. More of the same, those Neocolor 2s, and you know, took this wet Neocolor 2 for a walk. Again, another Neocolor 2 on gouache. And then this is gouache, the blue is the gouache, and the Neocolor 2 is on top of it. And then these are just colored pencil lines, luminance. And then this is that brown ink again. Here I have this quilt idea with just the colored pencils. And what you're seeing is an offset, because on this one, when I was pressing down very hard, I got this offset of that on there. And I kind of like it, but lesson learned, you know, when you're working in a book, sometimes you have to try to protect, if you want to, protect the pages. And I didn't. I just went to town. I find colored pencils, they're much more, they're physically more demands are put on you, because you have to really keep, they're not fluid, they require a physicality, which is kind of nice. It's my exercise for the week. And then I have some gouache flowers and some just scribbles here. And then this was from a previous video. I don't know if that video is out yet, but where I tested some Sharpie markers. And that's that. And then I set up some pages. So this is how these pages start out, with this distressed ink, which I really like, because it gives you, I don't know if you can see, there's almost like a graininess to the stamp. It's kind of fun. So it adds some really nice texture to it. Okay, so that's kind of it, I think. Those are the two sketchbooks. There is another sketchbook, one more, the handbook sketchbook, which I'm going to save that for a separate video because this is going kind of long. But this is my third sketchbook, which is this handbook, which is about slightly larger than this small Art Creations handbook. I think this size is too small for me. I tend to like a slightly bigger, you know, profile so that I can actually get into it. But that's where I am this week. I will add another review of this third sketchbook in another video. And let me know in the comments the sketchbooks that you like. And if you want to see more of my sketchbooks, let me know. And I'm happy to talk about different techniques that I'm using. So that's it for today. And thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Bye.